Hello everybody out there in the music community. This is Micro Soldier 777 Comanche here. And this episode I figure show you a quick video of the fact that I've been a fan of rock, hard rock, and metal, mostly Christian oriented, old school stuff, for 40 years, since 1985 or thereabouts 1985. Before I get into it, if you're new to my channel, appreciate if you will subscribe and like and comment. If you have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. And feel free to comment and like below with some of your memories of being a fan of music. So basically, I've been a fan of mostly Christian rock, hard rock, and metal for 40 years since 1985. So prior to getting into the music in 85, so just go back a little bit. In Christmas of 84, my parents gave me two cassettes, Farrell and Farrell Choices and Chris Christian, Let the Music Start. Now, while these were more adult contemporary pop type albums, and in their own right, they were pretty good or decent. I wanted something to rock harder, or is a bit more heavier, more guitar oriented back then. Also, too, case in point, the Christian album Let Music Start. The members of Whiteheart was involved with that album, and I believe the song "Make a Joyful Noise." The Whiteheart was especially involved in that song. So basically, that was. And also, I'm a fan of the band Whiteheart too. So anyway, so in '85, my world changed through a few church friends and a neighbor. Um, um, my world opened up for Christian, old school Christian hard rock, rock and metal. So I'm just going to run down about 10 albums of bands that I would listen to repeatedly, either in my own collection or I borrowed from other people. And I kind of latch on these albums. And I got into these albums anywhere from 85 to, say, early 86 in that period. So let's get right to it. So first up, we have Petra, More Power to You. And this is a great album. I used to borrow this cassette version of this album off my neighbor many times and listen to it. So Petra, More Power to You. Came out in 82, by the way, originally. Petra, Not This World. Another one I would borrow off my neighbor and listen to. Great album. Originally came out in 83. And Petra, Beat the System, which also bore off my neighbor as well. So those three Petra albums were the ones I was listening to in that period between in 85 or thereabouts. And I believe, not mistaken, I remember vaguely back then, the release of this album was delayed or something. I don't think we got this until 85, I think, even though it's an 84 release. It might have been released in late 84, but for some reason, we never got to hear this till around 85, but I could be wrong about that details. I remember my next door neighbor was talking about how it was delayed or something for a while. Anyway, next up, I wasn't sure if 85 or 86 I got this album, but it's a live album from Band Jerusalem in His Majesty's service. I had this on cassette way back then, so this is one of the first hard rock albums I bought. I bought was Jerusalem in His Majesty's service. There you have it. Next up, we have three albums from an awesome band, one of my favorite bands. We have Res Band Bootleg. I had a cassette of this back in the day. And we have Res Band Hostage. Came in 84. This also came in 84. And we have Res Band Between Heaven and Hell. Now, I remember back then, I had two of these. My neighbor, one of my friends had his taped off, and I made tape on one side, one on the other side. And my father taped off the 9-minute tape off another minute tape of these two albums, another 9-minute tape he worked for school board, so at the school board tape recording machine. And I actually played it all the time. Remember now, my tape getting chewed up in my ghetto blaster. I was a bit stressed because I used to listen to these all the time. These two albums. So I eventually bought these in July of '86 on a family vacation to PEI, and so I finally had these on cassette back then. And I bought this one on cassette back in late '85, around November, December period. So I bought that one original cassette. So next up is a album that was borrowed off my neighbor a lot. Was the Daniel band Run from Darkness. I used to borrow that a lot off of my neighbor. And another friend of mine gave me the record for it. And I taped off on cassette from that record. I lost the record, and anyway, I got this on vinyl as well. The Daniel band Run from Darkness originally came in '84. Great album. Around '85 and '86 period, as you may know, our world changed with a little known band called Stryper. So here is Young Black Attack, which we all know about, and this is the Japanese version of the '86 mix with all 8 songs, plus it has Winter Wonderland added to it. But I want to make reference to the fact that I actually have Young Black Attack, which I got permission to have this, the original mix on CD of Young Black Attack, which I downloaded from files. So this is the original EP I have downloaded on the CD of the original mix, '84 mix of Young Black Attack. There you have it. So, but I remember back in '85 hearing about Stryper and knowing about them, and I became a fan. I think I heard of Stryper before Soldiers came out, so it was around the Young Black Attack period, if my memory serves me correctly. And but I had the first 2 albums taped off until in '86, when the Chernobyl nuclear disaster happened. I bought the cassette in that period in May of '86, late April or May of '86, of Soldiers Command on cassette. That was the first album from them about a cassette of any format, on cassette from Stryper, Soldiers Command, which as you may know came in '85. So this original mix came in '84, this came in '85. So that was my introduction to Christian rock, hard rock, and metal of those 5 bands I featured. As well, there's other bands I heard about or kind of through friends. Whiteheart being one, with Vital Signs and Hotline. I do have Vital Signs and cassette, which I forgot to bring with me, but maybe I should have showed that one too. So Whiteheart and Vital Signs. But my first album about of Whiteheart was back in '86, was Doing for Movie in '86, but that's another story for another day, maybe, if I decide to share it. Anyway, so yeah, so of course there have been other albums I discovered through the years that was released in the first half of the '80s or early '80s, other albums. And just to let you know that the releases I have from '85, just let you know the numbers. I have 3 albums from '80, 3 albums from '81, 6 albums from '82, 5 albums from '83, '84 got 10 albums, and '85 I got 8. So that kind of shows you the number of albums in Christian hard rock and metal and rock for the first half of the '80s. So it seems like the music, at least in my collection anyway, really took off from an '82-'83 period in terms of releasing music or music that I have in my collection. And just let you know, in '86 I have 11 albums from '86, so it kind of shows you the number of releases for that period, for that time frame from '80 to '86. Also too, I started my channel in 2018, and reason being because I want to showcase or highlight mostly Christian, also Christian rock, hard rock, and metal. I came to meet a number of great people of various walks of life because of my channel, such as the folks who reissue this great music who are involved with it at some way or format, like Greg Hayes of Girder Music, um, um, Bill Baffert, Rocks Records, Rocks Productions, and Matt Hunt of Retroactive Records, or Boone's Overstock, I should say, because there's a number of labels under the banner Boone's Overstock that he has on his website. I had a previous meeting and hooking up with Grant Schreiber of Area 312. Also his partner Rex, two great people, two of that station. What else? And also other channels that are putting out great content. Some of them does have Christian content or talks about Christian music, such as Ron Haggerty's GTR Rock Realm, I think the station's called. What else? Yeah, so there's other people I've met or I've chatted with online or met directly. Great people. We share the same interests. Yeah, so, kind of lots of words here. Yeah, so anyways, so it's been 40 years since I've became a fan and, of great music. Just back before I got in music, I've always been a collector. I've always collected stamps, banknotes from around the world, even Canada, U.S. I collected hockey cards, hockey stickers or hockey sticker albums, or I had one before and I lost it. Movie stuff like Star Wars. So I've always been a collector growing up in the 80s, or early 80s. And so I got into collecting mostly, as I said before, mostly music-oriented material, other merch or CDs or albums, since around 85. So it's been 40 years. That's a long time, but something only yesterday when I listened to the initial run of my first cassettes I bought. It seemed like only yesterday. Time flies. Anyway, folks, that's all I have right now. Hope you enjoyed this channel of a milestone of collecting for 40 years. Leave a comment below of when you start getting into music. What was the first few albums you liked or bought or bored or taped off, whatever? What was the first ones you've obtained in your collection? What memories do you have? Maybe you can show a video. Maybe we can get a thread going about this. Anyway, folks, that's all I have to say for now. Have a great day. Bye now.